recording. Yeah. So yeah, let's start a new document here. We can reset all the material slots also to have everything clear here, or even close that. For now it's not important. Yeah, so we will have empty scene, and by pressing G you will found this grid, turn it on and turn it off mode. So basically it could be find it somewhere, yeah, here in this plus button, show grid. Yeah, sometimes it's useful, for example, if you want to snap something to the grid cells, but basically for me right now it's important just to understand where the ground is. So how we will start to work with concept art. I prefer to put all the concept art on the plane. So the plane basically it's a plane surface which could be used as a template for the image which we can place in our scene. Basically, yeah, this plane could be created from the creation tab here. The same thing as we create a box, but here you can find the plane. So if you will create a plane, you can just turn off all the segments here. Yeah, and maybe let's make that plane not meter by meter, but maybe 500 centimeter to 500 centimeters. It's like a 5 meter to 5 meters. I think this should be enough for my building. It's not really huge, yeah, but for a concept art it should be enough. Oh yeah, and another important thing here with the concept art is much better to have a square image of the concept. Yeah, because the 3ds Max uses square as a texture much better than the rectangular. That's why I will just create a square from that. So and now I will go to material editor again. Here you can find it, and let's assign this first material to our plane. And in this basic parameters in the diffuse map, we need to find a bitmap, or even if you have problems with your materials as Ilya had, you should have something like a diffuse map or base map, or it could called like albedo map. Add some shaders, and there you can just use a bitmap as an image and found your image as a concept. I will upload the concept art after a lesson. Yeah, so basically each of you could have the same concept. So when I assign the concept art on the plane, now I can just turn it on. Now we can see that we have our texture with the concept art already here, and you can see that the quality of that image actually not the same as we have in the beginning. So to fix that problem, we should go here into plus button and just switch in a viewport configuration the texture map to 2000 48 pixels, and I think that we could put the same number everywhere. This should be enough for the concept art. Yeah, now it's this is strange. Looks like it's not better than it was. Sometimes maybe you need to restart to your program, your 3ds Max, to see the results of some setting changes. So I will give a name like a lesson 4. We'll try to restart the 3ds Max. Maybe it will help. Yeah, let's wait a little bit when it's uploaded. Yeah, 3ds Max is usually it's really long first time opening. I'm not sure why it's so long, but yeah, it's basically it's always happened. So yeah, let's continue with our building. So the theme for today should be like how to create a building from the concept art. Yeah, the first thing is to place the concept art in the scene, how to place it correctly to navigate your model exactly in the same as you wanted to see. Yeah, right now you can see that image now is have much more quality, and we could continue. So right now the plane itself, it's on the ground. You can see this all that stuff right now is on the ground. Yeah, but we should put that actual building on the ground itself. That means that we need to turn this concept. Make sure that your angle snap toggle is turned on. It will help you to just turn your plane by snapping angle by angle. So right now you can see that I have snapping tool turned on by 5 degrees. So each movement will turn it by 5 degrees. This thing is much more useful when you need to put something clearly 90 degrees or something like that. So yeah, right now we can see that our building is not on the ground. Yeah, I will just put this stuff on the top part, and yeah, so right now this is our front building. Oops, sorry. This is our front view of the building, basically entrance view, which we have on the concept. And yeah, I will just go here then and convert all the meshes into editable poly right now. So if I will go here, I can just use that edges to select that edge and use that preserve UV this checkbox. If you will go to edit geometry and use the preserve UV, you will see that you can just move your edge, but not to move the UV itself, I mean the texture. So basically I will show you. If I will turn it off right now, you can see that I will just scale the texture up and down. So you should just put this in memory, that preserve UV. That means that you can just change this, you can just use some tools to make changes in your work without harming on your UV. But it works only on the square polygons. If you have triangles or rectangulars, it's not work correctly. That's why actually you need to try always to use only square polygons to work with. That will give you much more advantage to work with your completed building, for example, in the future. So yeah, now I will just figure out where my building will be cutted like that. So basically this is our front view, and now you can see, let's turn off this edges. Right now you can see that my pivot point right now is not in the correct place. So yeah, and by to fix that, to solve that, we should go to the pivot point settings. And yeah, I not remember, I said already about pivot points a little bit, but right now I want to expand that theme a little bit more further. You can see that if my pivot point place it not in the same place as my model is, it's not really comfortable to work with. For example, if I want to rotate my model, it will be rotated around pivot point. And yeah, if I want to fix that, to solve that, to put my pivot point in the center of my object, I will go here in the third tab, here in the hierarchy, and here is a button, affect pivot point, pivot only. If you will press on it, if you will do that active, you will see that 3D arrows will be visible on your pivot. That means that you could just move your pivot point without a model. But here is simple actions which will be useful for you to control your pivot point. For example, if we will go here and press on center to object, our pivot point automatically assigned to the center of our object. I think this should be enough for us for now. Please don't do that manually like this. It's much more better if you will use that button here. Yeah. So, and now I can see that my object right now not in the center here of the ground. Then I will just slightly move it here, or I can just use this x-axis numbers to move it, or just place here a 0, for example. As you remember, my pivot point right now is in the center, and if I put here a 0, my image will be in a 0 point. So when I figure out with the front view, yeah, I should put another type of views here. One more problem which you could found here, that on the back side of your polygon of your plane itself, you will found a black surface. That means that your polygon actually is only a one-sided polygon. You can see the texture only from one side. And if here in the object properties you will turn on this backface cool, you will see that your polygon actually is transparent on the back side. I show that because some of you will have a default checked this back face cool, and sometimes it could be really problematic to find something in the scene if you have this checkbox turn it on or turn it off. And also in the object properties, here should be a double-sided or maybe not here. No, sorry, it's in the material. Yeah, I forgot. If we will go to the material, there is a checkbox of two-sided material, and now you can see that our material is show it from the both sides. Actually, for us, we don't need to have it. Yes, I just show this because some of you will have that checkbox is turned on by default, and you will find it problematic to see your image from one side. For example, we need to use it as a front view, but you will see it as a back view also. So okay, let's put the back view of our building in the scene. I will just create a clone from that polygon. If you can see that if you will press right mouse button on your plane, you will find here a clone button. So use that clone button to make a clone from that image. And here, please use a copy of your object to make a copy of it. So now we have two the same objects over here, and now I will just rotate it to the 180 degrees like that. Yeah, and we still have the same image here, but let's fix that by going to the unwrap and in the unwrap menu you will find that polygon here of that plane, and here is a small tab where you can find your concept art, but sometimes maybe you will not find your concept art here. That means that you need to go here and pick a texture. So yeah, here just turn off this OSL and go to the general, and the general you'll find a bitmap, and in the bitmaps you just need to find your image which you want to use as a reference of your image. And now you can see that I see all my images on the background, and now I can just move that polygon in the place where my backside is visible. So yeah, when I place it here, I just collapse the unwrap. That means that I save everything what I have done there. And now let's just move it slightly, not this one. Yeah, to work with that, it's much better to give a names for that concept art. I will put here the front. Let's open our Scene Explorer here. It's much easier to work with that stuff. Yeah, and here I will put the name back. So yeah, I will just move it just a little bit here to not to see that glitches. So yeah, right now we have a front view and a back view. And now we need to place a right and left view. So I will just select the both objects. You can select like that, or you can just drag and drop with selection to select those. And now with the rotation button and with the shift, you can just copy those like that. Yeah, or you can just do the same thing as you have done before. So you just press here, make a clone, check the copy, and now just turn it like that. So but the problem is right now that we have the same images. Now let's go to the left view. You can see right now I just switch it by the keyboard by pressing the L button. Yeah, and yeah, let's go to the unwrap again. Unwrap UVW, open the UV editor. Here again we need to use a concept art, and let's move that image over here. So basically that's it. This is our concept art from the left view, I think. Yeah, and now when we see the both concept art, we can see that the size is not the same here. But we can fix that by just moving a little bit, pixels by pixels. Oh yeah, it's sometimes, yeah, it could be not really possible to solve that problems, but yeah, I, I I believe that we will just keep in mind that this is the same details. I just made a screenshot slightly distorted with the distorted perspective. That means that overall they can't be really similar, but for us it's okay. Yeah, we could use that. And yeah, I will collapse the unwrap first, and now I prefer to put that image somewhere over here maybe. And you can see that shadows actually give don't really give a chance for us to work really correctly. And I will just turn off the shadows here. I will switch from the shaders to the flat color shader. So right now we will not have any kind of shadows in our scene. That means that we will have only a flat color. And this one I will place here. Yeah, and now I just want to go here and turn this back face cool on. So you can see that that image should be transparent from that point of view, and that image should be transparent from that point of view. It's really good actually to work with your 3D model. So yeah, basically we have a front view. If you will press on F or switch here to the front view, you can see your front the left view. And the only one thing what we need to figure out, how to place a right view. So on the right view we still need to go to the unwrap, and oops, it's not the proper plane. I choose it. Yeah, this one is the right view. here, and maybe move it a little bit here, and let's scale it down just a little bit like that. So yeah, basically we can just put these parts in the center. It depends on how you prefer to work. Some of the guys actually work from that point of view, to have this cross in the center yet to work with. Some of my friends work that way, and they have everything not the same size. It should be like this, I think. Yeah, sorry. Or maybe you want to work that way. Yeah, sometimes it looks like it's something like a box here where we see everything on our model. Yeah, if you will freeze that, it will not show the textures. That's not really good for us. Yeah, and so I will prefer to have that cross in the center. I don't know, for me it's easier to work because I can measure the size of the foundation, for example. Yeah, and yeah, let's call that the first part of our lecture. Let's just maybe have a pause about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I will continue to work with.